But I think what they teach now is just like vision boards. All that is super important too. I've got lots of vision boards. I use Pinterest for them. But at the end of the day, when it comes to running a business, you can't just have a vision board. You just can't. You have to actually goal plan in an effective way. You heard it here. Don't just put pictures up on a vision board. Like, do that, but also come up with a plan.
We're Sahara and Micayla, co-founders of Refine Marketing.
From corporate 9-to-5s to building and scaling multiple million-dollar companies in less than 5 years, we're not afraid to get into the nitty-gritty.
Giving you a raw and real look at what it takes to build and sustain a business.
This is Rise and Refine. Okay, I have a question for you, though.
We haven't even said welcome back.
Well, welcome
Good
back.
morning. Happy Monday.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Rise and Refine podcast. It is a glorious Friday morning when we are recording this, but when you hear it, it's going to be a stellar Monday.
Yes. Productive week. What's your question?
Productive. Oh, yes. Okay. So do you wear bodysuits?
Bodysuits.
Yeah, bodysuits. You know where they clasp down below?
I do sometimes. Why?
Are you able to clasp them, or is your torso too long?
It depends on the bodysuit. I normally, where are we going with this? This is not how I expected to start goal planning episode.
I mean, I'm 5'9".
Yeah, you are tall. So do they not
and
fit
you're
you?
like 5'7", right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, they do not fit me, and I can never clasp them.
You know what,
and that's
though?
such a tall girl problem, though. I've heard that from so many people.
You know
So,
what? You're
shout
not
out to
missing
my
out
tall
on
girls.
anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
It's
I might
like
need to patent
uncomfortable
that.
to me. It's like wearing extra tight underwear. Like, it's so uncomfortable.
All right, tall girl probs.
Oh my
Anyways,
goodness.
what we are actually talking about
What
today
we're actually talking about, what you guys really came here for.
is why we do quarterly planning and what that actually looks like for us, and why we started it, how we started doing it, and talking a little bit about goal setting. And then, we're going to answer some questions that you guys have submitted for us.
Because I feel like so many people, they say like they goal plan.
Yeah.
Like, that's great and everything, but it's not just like writing down a goal. It's like the steps, deadlines, how you're going to achieve it. Is it realistic? We meet every week, but we do these quarterly sessions every quarter ever since we started the business.
Yes. And it's important that we do it because we are partners in Refine Marketing and this podcast.
Yeah.
But we do not live in the same area.
No.
So I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and Sahara lives in Huntsville, Alabama, where we met. And so it was imperative for us to actually get face to face for a couple days every 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that, our vision is the same. We're growing together. We have the same goals for Refine Marketing. And so
1,000%. But also, even my other companies and all my employees and team members that live here, because Refine's the only remote one in a sense.
Right.
We still do quarterly sessions too. And before we met, I did those with the team.
Okay.
So it's a little different. It works a little differently because, with ours, we stay here. We do it for like a full day. Oh, hi, Sid. Here comes second cat.
Well, we have both cats with us now.
Yeah. Lordy, my couch is going to get ruined. It's fine. Only for this episode and for Micayla. But okay, goodbye, Sid. Doing like project planning, goal planning, to be in the same environment you work with and is not as motivating.
Yeah.
So I purposely like take those team members and we do it outside the office.
Where's the best location that you found for you? Is it a coffee shop?
I love coffee shops.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes we've done it at my house, but majority of the time we'll do it at a coffee shop. But I do it for every business. And so, we've done it since we've started Refined. And we're going to have a fun thing later on after we talk about how to do it, where we're going to react to like our last one we did and see what we actually accomplished versus what we didn't.
Yes, which I mean, we've kept up with. It's not like we do a quarterly planning session. We create all these different goals and then we don't look back at those goals throughout those couple of months. Like we definitely look back at everything. We make sure that we're on track. Our goals within each week, each month, obviously are supportive and align with those larger overhead goals that we've set during those quarterly sessions. But it is good to take a look back on everything now that we are completely through that and setting new goals And yeah, I mean, there's certain ones that I know we've reached, and there's certain ones I
we
know
didn't
that we
reach,
didn't even touch.
I think it's because like when we're planning these, we're like all in, like let's make all this happen. But you know, that's with any business, and I think it's okay to add more than what you might get done, and then just carry it over. But the whole purpose is to, of course, get what you can done. But I think we're always a little bit more, what's the word, like overachievers when it comes to goal settings.
Big dreamers, and sometimes it's not realistic. We don't necessarily think through the time that it's going to realistically take to get that done. And so sometimes there's curveballs that get thrown. Sometimes we start something and it's like, okay, no, this isn't the actual right time to do this. And that's when things get pushed or moved around, and that's totally okay too.
Yeah, 1,000%. Sometimes there's like the podcast where we wanted to launch it sooner. We did accomplish it, but we wanted to launch it sooner. But with technology and everything that goes into creating it, one of the reasons we couldn't get it launched in August, because you don't know this part, is that Apple has the worst recover password process.
Oh, really?
Because the Hello account, something happened and I had to reset the password.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't just let me go reset it. They had to schedule a call. And then it was on a Sunday when I couldn't answer it. So then they gave me 8 days to then click on this link. But I had to wait 8 days for the call to happen. And then it's this whole weird thing.
Oh.
And that was out of my control.
Oh.
So I had to wait 8 days to reset the Apple Podcast password. And I was like, what? And obviously we don't want to launch the podcast if it's not on Apple. But things like that get in the way when it comes to achieving goals sometimes that you can't prevent.
No, definitely. And we are the kinds of business owners that if we are creating something or we're going to launch something, we're going all in. Okay. It's not like we're going to, Sahara's daughter just came down the stairs.
Hi, mommy.
She's waving at us.
Hi. We told her that we were on a TV show with the lights. She said she wants to be on one day.
We're going to have her on as a guest.
Oh my God. That would be so cute.
But yeah, we just go all in on stuff. And so sometimes it's like we have this expectation of what it's going to be like when we launch, and the expectation doesn't always match the reality of it, and that's totally fine. Like,
and sometimes we get things done earlier.
Exactly. Like our first episode for this was not exactly the way that we wanted it to be.
Neither was our second.
Nope. But hey, we are here and we are learning, and that's all about the process.
Yeah. So, okay, let's get down to goal planning and what we do with this. Okay. So we schedule days where we try to be together, but whether you're in town with someone or not, you schedule time off on your calendar where you both have nothing going on, and you treat it like it's the most important thing. No other appointments. Like, I mean, that's where
no distractions.
I mean, like right now, I'm sure we're both feeling a little overwhelmed with emails and texts. Like I've got like 30 texts to go through. Yeah. But that's okay because we had to get our goal planning done. So you could use Notion. We still stick it old school and use a Google Doc.
And it's easy.
No fancy thing.
No fancy thing. We literally just go through and create the main topics of like the main big sections of our business. So like, what is our 2025 pricing going to look like? What process changes do we need to have? What website updates do we need to make?
Yeah.
Is there anything that we want to roll out in 2025? Is there something like some of our freebie downloads? Is there anything there that we can like revamp or rework to make them?
You like break it down.
Add more value.
Yeah. You break it down to the sections of your business.
Yes.
In a sense, which everyone has different. So like for us, the podcast, marketing, website, things we want to roll out, operations and processes. So we break it down. And I think that's good if we were giving y'all like the nitty gritty advice, like first break it down into sections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there within each section, go into more detail of what that actually looks like. So for our website, we want to make some additions to our homepage. We want to add more on the podcast, on like our podcast landing page on our website. We need to create some new links there. So we went through our website and did a full audit of it on Wednesday and
And then wrote everything down we wanted to change.
Everything down that we wanted to change.
Yeah.
And so.
And then we put a deadline.
Yes.
I don't want to skip steps here because I want them to really know how to do this. But then we put a deadline of when we wanted that done. And then another thing to the website update was, oh gosh, if you're in a service-based business and you have a lot of clients, how am I going to work on my business? So then we chose a month, which is going to be December, of when we won't take any new clients and she can focus on our business and updating it, because our business is just as important as anyone else's to update.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really important point, is the fact that we intentionally were like, okay, let's look at our current client list. Let's look at the deliverables that we still have out there. Let's look at our sales and profit goal for this year.
Yes.
How close are we? Okay, how many more clients do we need to reach that? Because obviously, like, yes, we love to serve our clients well, but at the end of the day, we are also a business and we have to be profitable in order to stay open.
Yes.
And so you have to make sales.
Yes.
And so with that being said, we realized that, okay, we need at least 2 more clients minimum to reach that number for the rest of this year. And then from there, okay, is it attainable to wrap everything up by December 6th?
Yes.
Okay, it is. Awesome. So then blocking off the rest of December and then that first week of January to work solely on back-end operations, process changes, website updates for refined marketing.
Yeah.
And going from there. And then obviously building out a couple fun things too.
Yes. And you know what I feel like the most important planning of any year, most people would say, like, what quarterly planning is the most important? Most people would guess that it's Q1.
Yeah.
To me, it's Q4.
Definitely.
Because I want to go into Q1 having all of this, in a sense, maintenance done.
Yes.
And like our goals for 2025 already planned, so that we can just focus on what we want to do and not kind of like the back end work of making it happen. Like, we already know our goals.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people wait to, which is why I love the timing of this, because this episode will go out in Q4.
Right.
I love being able, I've made the mistake the past few years of doing my yearly planning in the first month of the new year. And now I do it at the end of the previous year. So I think that just makes it a lot better, because then you can get all that nitty and gritty stuff done before the new year starts and kind of have a fresh start, knowing that you kind of did the basis of what's already needed to get done.
In order to grow and scale and do the amazing things that you want to do with your business, you also have to do the maintenance. I like that you said the word maintenance, because it's
not a sexy word, but it's a very real word for business.
Well, like, you have a car, you have to do maintenance on it to keep it running.
Yes.
Like, your business, you have to do maintenance on it to
you have
keep
to
it
update
running.
your phone. You have to update your laptop. Like, so why are we not looking at our own business and the stuff that most people want to add new fun projects and not like work on what they already have? Like, if we never updated our processes, if we never updated our website, if we never looked at those things that maybe aren't as fun and we just rolled out new things, honestly, it still would not run as well.
No, and we wouldn't be as profitable, because our systems would break down eventually. Our client process would not be a good experience.
Yeah.
And like, that's something that we are having to figure out right now, is the process that we actually, our client process that we actually launched with and first started with. It's starting to break down, because we've grown so fast within a year. And so we just had to invest a couple $1,000s into bringing somebody on.
Yes.
Chanel and Lee, right?
Yes.
And so we had to
help us with all the processes.
Yes. Switching to Dubsado, creating an entire system for our clients.
Yes.
And so it's going to completely elevate and change our client experience. But we knew we needed to do that. Even though it hurt to spend that couple $1,000s, it was necessary for us to reach the dreams and the goals that we have for 2025.
Yeah. This goal planning is so much fun to like think of new things you're going to do. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of grinding still. And it's a lot of like maintenance. Like we said, that's what you got to do.
Yeah. And it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot harder if you have a very creative mind.
Oh yeah,
like a
for
very
sure.
flighty
You were
mind,
probably like,
because that's just, it's not the way that my brain operates.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that way on the day to day. And so it is nice to have you there, because you balance me out in every way and keep me sane. Because this is the way that you do operate, and like, you understand all of it. So if you are a creative and you kind of think in I don't know, you think in color.
You think in chaos,
in chaos, yeah. If that's you, then I would highly recommend trying to find a mentor or somebody that has that business back-end experience and who is good with operations to help you kind of navigate those different stages of business and can speak into your business on what you need to change and what you need to do differently.
Yeah. So we talked about like how we break it down. We talked about like putting deadlines on it. We talked about creating like additional steps. Like don't just put on there like, for example, like I want to roll out this with no steps. You have to actually put on steps.
And understand that those different steps that you build out are going to change. Like they're not, there could be, make it a guideline. Make it a very general guideline, make it something that you can easily follow, but understand that there might be things that come into your business or something that comes against you and you're going to have to adjust how you do things. And I've heard somebody recently say like, when you plug in, actually it was Erica, but when you plug in a destination on your Google Maps, like there's multiple different ways to get there, but eventually you're going to get there if you have that end desire, that end goal, that end vision. So understand that there could be different ways to get to that end goal, but it could change along the way. And that's totally fine.
Yeah. Another important thing, especially if you have more than one person that I don't want to miss, is making sure everyone knows who's responsible for what.
Yes.
Because in some of my other businesses where I've got like 5 employees and we're goal planning, you know, people want to throw in a lot of stuff that they want to make happen. But it's like, okay, you know, sometimes it's you two need to work on this project because that's what area you're in. You two need to work on this one. Like with the podcast, Micayla, it was very defined that she was going to create the cover. I was going to figure out technology. Right. And so we knew who was responsible for what, and that's how we made it happen.
And I think it's important to note too, and that we've touched on this, but we haven't really said it, but we turn all of these goals into what's called a S.M.A.R.T goal. And so a S.M.A.R.T goal it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant, and it's timely.
Yes.
So like you have your main overarching goal, and then you break it down into the specifics, and then you break it down on how you're going to measure it. So is there a number that you're trying to reach as an income goal? Is there a number of sales that you're trying to reach?
A number of analytics on the Instagram side, a number of followers you want to reach, like things like that.
Stuff like that. And then is it actually attainable? Yeah. Like make sure that the goals that you're setting, like, yes, you can have some super far-fetched goals and we encourage you to do that. But the goals that you're trying to do quarter to quarter, make sure that they are actually attainable. And then relevant. Is it relevant to your business? Is it relevant to the overall vision? Is it relevant to that dream that you have for your 5-year, 10-year plan? And then put a
deadline.
A deadline on it. Put a timeline on it.
SMART goals is something that's been taught for years, and it's probably one of the, if you want to call it old school ways, I still kind of believe in. Because I feel like nobody really teaches it now.
No,
nobody teaches it now, but it is something that I feel like is definitely still relevant when it comes to goal planning. So that's definitely a good one.
Yeah. I mean, that was taught to me when I was actually in college. My college coach, Caitlin Moriarty at Berry, she taught us how to plan for SMART goals. Yeah. And that, again, stuck with me ever since, because that's how I plan my goals. And honestly, I think that that's why I was able to have so many opportunities in my 20s is because of actually setting specific
goals,
SMART goals.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think they teach now is, from what I've seen, like I'm the oldest out of 5. So all my siblings are Gen Z and I see a lot of it. But I think what they teach now is just like vision planning, vision boards, and like where you just put like, if you want to go to, the manifestation, if you want to go to, all that is super important too. I've got lots of vision boards. I use Pinterest for them. Yeah. I've got lots. I always say manifest, but at the end of the day, when it comes to running a business, you can't just have a vision board. You just can't. You have to actually goal plan in an effective way. And they don't teach that anymore. So you heard it here. Don't just put pictures up on a vision board. Like do that, but also come up with a plan. So the last thing I think that's really relevant for this is that we don't just talk about it like now. We talk about it every single week.
Yes.
Like in our weekly meetings, we're like, okay, what goals are we working on? what's coming up. We have deadlines on. What do we need to start on? So it's not like some people do goal planning and then they just forget about it, I feel like.
Yeah.
But we follow up.
Yeah. And we do a weekly meeting on Mondays at noon. And so that's a time that we just figured out works best for us. I've heard people do them on Fridays as like a Friday recap where they recap that week and then they plan for the next. For us, it just works better on Mondays because we're both, I don't know.
I feel like Mondays. It's my favorite day.
Well, it's Sarah's favorite day, but I feel like for me, I also need that Friday to just regroup for myself.
I don't want to plan on Friday.
I just don't ever want to plan on a Friday.
Yeah.
And I also bebop around and travel quite a bit. And so Fridays are a travel day a lot of the times for me as well, and work from the car days. And so, Mondays has just worked for us, but it's an hour long and we go through our to-do list for that week. We go through all of our clients that we have, the deliverables that are still on the table for them, and then any all projects that are coming up.
Okay, there was one more thing to the goal planning.
Okay.
Use it for content because we always make sure that if we're getting together, we're going to also batch content.
Yes.
But we always talk about marketing too. That's a big part of our goal planning, but we do use the opportunity to do content together. So we will purposely plan like we want to do these reels and make it happen. And I do that not with I do content batching with all my other businesses. I don't do them during quarterly planning, but I feel like if you're going to meet with someone you don't often meet with, it's important to go ahead and film some things together.
Yeah, definitely. And those are things that we have just, a lot of the times it's more like trendier style reels that we know we can easily replicate, or maybe if it's a heavy hitter topic that we both need to be speaking on, then we'll just do like a quick vlog style video.
Yes.
But most of the time it's some more of those fun, cheesy kind of trendy reels.
We're only cheesy when we're together.
Yeah, honestly. You're going to see different sides of both of us when we're together. That's why our stories have just been so ridiculous recently.
Goodness. So that's how we goal plan, and hopefully you guys got some steps out of how to do it. Now let's react to our last goal planning session and see what we actually did. So we haven't read this.
We haven't read it in full.
No, not in a while. So we thought it'd be fun to react to it because we eventually put all of our projects, for me, and I use Notion. For you probably still use your notepad.
I'm just a paper girly. I love my agenda and my to-do list.
That's fine. So eventually Google Drive is like our big planning, and then we both know what we're responsible, and we take it off there and work on it.
And so we haven't looked at this full document since it was created, because then we take it snippet by snippet into our own little methods of keeping tabs.
Yes, 1,000%. Okay, so here was our last goal planning. So first we went through our client pipeline.
Okay.
I'll say some of these. I won't say some of them. But we did launch Sunny Sky at Home.
Yes, we did.
Check her out. Yep. We launched With Love.
Oh my gosh, With Love by Noella and Erica Hardesty.
Yes. We watched Moody Creative Media.
Yep, Gray Spirit.
Yes. And then we did end up launching Eat Well Gulf Coast.
Yes. Her website is not fully out there yet, but she is a registered dietitian nutritionist on the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Yes. And then everybody else we're about to launch. We're almost there. So we did our social media giveaway, and we chose Lasting Little Links.
Yes.
And now we're doing another giveaway too. So that's kind of funny. So we ended up making that happen and got to work with a small business owner and do the mini package for them for free.
Yes. She is a permanent jeweler out in Salt Lake City, Utah area. Yeah. And super excited for y'all to see her stuff, because it is precious.
So we got to do that. We did our 1-year photo shoot. We did accomplish that.
Oh gosh. Yes. If you haven't seen our 1-year photo shoot, please go check it out. It is like my pride and joy. Yes. I will get that one of our pictures framed, because I'm just I'm so proud of us for getting to that mark. Because 1 year in business for a business that you've been told was in a market that was too saturated, it's an accomplishment. And it is. I don't know. It is. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of us.
No, you should be. And this is kind of funny because this is not sexy, but again, that's why we're doing this podcast, talk about this stuff. But we had to get our taxes, which we're almost done, but we had to go through this whole tax thing, which we accomplished what we needed for that. But now we just have to finish up one final thing and then we're good.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. But we're almost there.
Taxes.
Yes. Almost done. And that is late, but we had some weird hiccups this year, but that's okay.
It's okay.
That's life.
It all works out.
Yeah.
But another point is we have a CPA.
Yes.
And he's amazing. And he does everything for us. We just get him all of the information. So if you're a small business owner, hire a CPA.
Okay. This isn't necessarily bad that we didn't get to do this. It's kind of funny. It's honestly a good thing. But we were going to do 3 passion projects, but we didn't get to do any of them because we got too many clients.
We did one.
No, that was in the beginning of this year. This is for last quarter. We were going to do...
we did Kind, the natural deodorant.
Oh, yeah. We did do one. Mm-hmm. So we did one we didn't even put on here.
Yeah, exactly.
That happens too.
Yeah, that was just a spur of the moment. I was trapped in a creative rut and I was like, I just need to do something that is not related to an actual person right now.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I saw that brand brief and was like, all right, I'm going to take 6 hours of my Saturday and see what I can come up with.
Yeah.
So check it out on Refined Marketing's Instagram.
That was a fun one. Okay. We did do the mastermind.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did a fun little mastermind. Okay, here's something we didn't do. We didn't do our template shop. Oh. That was a big one we were going to do.
Oh my gosh. The dang template shop. I swear. So we have wanted to do website templates for so long. Yeah. However, it just has not been a priority, but it is on our list for 2025 to roll that out.
Sometimes things move over. We said that earlier.
Yeah, no. When we were planning this, we didn't have the client load that we ended up having within like the next 3 weeks. We all got
really busy.
Yeah, we signed like 8 clients within 3 weeks and it was just like, holy cow. So yeah, we definitely had to reprioritize some stuff.
Switched to Shopify. We have not done that, but that is another move over.
Oh my gosh. So right now our online quote unquote shop, I wouldn't even call it a shop. It's not a shop.
It's not
whatsoever.
a shop, but you can support it if you want.
Yeah. You can go book a one-on-one strategy call with us and like get a freebie download on there and things like that. There's stuff that we haven't even advertised or marketed in any way that we are actually going to be putting up.
It's not a shop though.
It's not a shop. It's literally through Flowdesk. I'm pretty sure we have a Flowdesk checkout and we're switching everything over to Shopify, but that's just another maintenance project that we have in December that we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good example of that.
Yeah. Some of this stuff I don't want to say because it's a surprise for later on that we moved over.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say some of it. The biggest one was the podcast and we got that done.
Heck yeah, we did. And that was something that I didn't even have on my quarterly planning list. This was something that Sahara straight up sprung on me. Like 6 months ago?
Yeah.
I mean, she had planted the seed of wanting to do a podcast for about a year. And I've known that she's always wanted to start one, but yeah, I did not expect me to be the co-host of a podcast ever in my entire life. And here we are. But
that was our big project. I would say for that quarter, that was definitely our biggest project to get done and took a lot of work for me. Yeah. For you, I think it was definitely just the client workload at the time. Like we just all of a sudden got but got super overwhelmed with a ton of clients all at once. They like to hit all at once.
Yes. We did it to ourselves. Yeah. We definitely took on probably more than we could chew at the time, but it was necessary for us to grow in certain areas, for me to grow in certain areas. And I needed to grow my capacity for this business because I was capped at doing like 3 projects a month, which is definitely attainable. And I thought it was like a ton at the time, but I was also not really prioritizing my time and using it accordingly. So I just had to get smart with my calendar, redo my calendar, actually start mapping out my time more and more. And I'm getting distracted by Sly.
Sorry, Sly. But you can see we didn't accomplish everything and that's okay.
Yes.
But we accomplished a lot of what we put on there. And we moved a lot of what we didn't accomplish over because we're not just forgetting about it. We still want to do it. We still have a plan for it. We just need it more time, which is okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that was a lot for a quarter.
It was a lot for 3 months. Yeah. I mean, we say a quarter, but it's 3 months. Like it's 90 days. Like you can do a lot in 90 days. Yes. But I mean, you also have to factor in that, you know, there's sometimes might be family vacations and friend trips.
There was other stuff too that we didn't even put on there, like Pinterest.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We actually started posting on Pinterest, but we hired a Pinterest manager to run all of that.
Yeah.
Because we realized
so there's stuff we accomplished that we didn't even put on the goal list too. That kept us busy as well.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. We changed up a lot of Instagram. We posted way more reels.
Yes.
So
we brought somebody on to audit our Instagram and help us with our content strategy and content pillars.
Yeah. So we rolled out so much more than what we just talked about too, which that's another thing that happens. You don't just stick by the goals. Like sometimes you go day by day and what happens in life and you add on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's so good.
Yeah.
And if y'all have any questions on whether it is actually doing a quarterly review, quarterly planning, or on some of the goals that we actually just talked about, DM us on Instagram or at Rise and Refine podcast or at Refine Marketing _
Ask us a question.
Ask us those questions. We'll be more than happy to answer them.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to dive into questions that we've received from y'all, whether through its question boxes on Instagram or just DMs that we've received. And so,
but wait, we have to be grateful and remember the small things. Like we talked about last episode, we have questions.
We do have questions,
which we're so grateful for.
Because y'all
we just started this and we have questions.
Y'all want to know a really funny little inside
Oh God,
scoops?
do not call us out, Micayla.
I'm totally going to call us out.
Okay,
this
call
is the
us
Rise
out.
and Refine podcast.
It's real. It's transparent.
We are all about being raw and real on here. Okay, so when we would post a question box to our Refine Marketing stories for like the first, honestly, our first year.
When we had so many questions, we didn't.
if we put one up there and we didn't receive any questions, we would just go on our personal accounts and write our own questions.
Yes, we were like, they probably actually want to know this. They're just too scared to ask.
And so there you go. There's our raw and real truth of the day.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
But these are real questions.
Yes, these are real questions. And so when we are having episodes where it's just Sahara and I talking about a topic, we are going to answer any questions that we've received from you guys, whether that's through question boxes or DMs.
Anytime it's just us.
Yeah.
We're going to take 5 minutes at the end of each podcast.
Yeah, answer 2 to 3 of those questions and expound on them a little bit more than we can in stories.
Yeah. So anything regarding business, leadership, marketing, we're your girls to answer them.
Yeah, we're your business besties. Okay. So the first one is, do you use a professions program system for contracts, deposits, final payments?
Yes. The answer is yes. There's a lot out there. So if you're just getting started, I think HoneyBook is a really good place for contracting, invoicing. They have a lot of really cool financial tools as well. HoneyBook is like your initial starter. It's super user friendly to set up. It's not too complex. It's very easy to use from the client side as well. And their invoice system is great. So that's one. So we're switching to Dubsado.
I don't know if that's right, though.
We don't know if that's right. We will DUBSADO. Or is it BO?
Dubsado. Anyways.
It's not hard to find. You know what we're talking about. So we're switching to that. So I feel like we can't really speak on it yet until it's rolled out. There's a lot more we're switching. I actually think the HoneyBook financial side is probably going to be better, but we're switching because of the automation client service side.
The client experience is way better, 10 times better.
Yeah. And we're going to have Shopify soon, and we have PayPal now. So the invoicing isn't too hard for us to kind of let go of a HoneyBook, but we need more automations, which HoneyBook does not have.
Yes. Yeah. And so with Dubsado, we are going to actually be able to enhance our client experience to where when somebody does book a discovery call with us and they want to, we always send a project proposal afterwards that obviously details the entire, whatever that package includes, timelines, things that go into our process and really dive into all of that. And so
it's more integrated.
It's more integrated. Yeah. So we'll obviously send a project proposal, but instead of just sending that project proposal, we are now able to add our invoice and contract immediately with that. And so it's all in one, and it's a more enhanced client experience.
100%. But HoneyBook is a great place to start. It's not too expensive. A lot of people use it.
Okay. Next one is, do you say yes to all work, or do you make sure your brand aligns with theirs first? Ooh, that's really good.
I think, okay, let's give 2 answers.
Okay.
My first answer is this is terrible. Nobody's going to agree with this, but I'm going to say, I feel like the first year in business, you should grind and say yes as much as you can just to make it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we took a lot of clients on our first year that I don't necessarily know we
wouldn't have taken them on later on.
Had a choice.
Yeah. But we had to grind it out. And most people say, no, you have to set expectations with who you want in the first year. I'm like, no, you got to make money.
Yeah.
You got to make money and you got to grind it out. And I tell all, because, I've got 35 agents. I tell all their sales. I tell them, like, your first year, like, I'm sorry, but you just have to grind it out and say yes more. You have to drive farther. You have to work a little harder. So I think first year, you got to say yes. That's my honest answer.
Yeah. And then once we've kind of become a little bit more established, our following has grown, we've put out more work, we've grown our portfolio, people see the quality of our work, then that's when we've started attracting more of what I believe to be our target audience, our ideal client. Yeah. We're not just going to create something that you can scroll and find on like a Canva template or Creative Market or one of those sites.
So we've grown, and I think now we would be okay with saying no. And we have said no. We have said no, but we're also okay with people saying no to us because of our pricing. Whereas in the beginning, we're like, should we adjust to make it work for you, lessen our services?
Yes.
Whereas now we're like, we're so sorry if this doesn't work. We understand. Thank you.
Yes.
And that's okay.
It's definitely okay.
Yeah.
And I think too, that comes to just like different products and packages to have is like, we have our mini brand and our full brand so that we can start with the full brand, but then we can downsell if we needed to the mini brand, like depending on their price point, what they need. And so I think that's another key point too, is, have a couple different variations to where you can upsell, downsell, depending on what the client is actually looking for.
Yeah. But no matter where you're at in business, at the end of the day, if you have a client who disrespects you and it's just not a good fit and stressing you out, no matter what your business you're in, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No matter what.
And we've had to drop a client because of that. So definitely maintain your boundaries. Understand that, this is your business. This is your reputation on the line. And if you don't align and things are just not working out, it's okay to walk away.
1000%.
Okay, this one is awesome, and it is actually for you because I just can't answer this.
Oh gosh, what is it?
How has becoming a mom changed your business?
Oh, good question. I'm like, oh God, in so many ways, where would I begin? I feel like that's a whole episode itself.
Okay.
But I can give like a short summary. I feel like for me, it's made me want to take time off. Which is healthy for me.
Yeah, that is
healthy. But it has made me...
Because she's a workhorse.
Yes. When you're a mom, you don't want to work, right? When they have things going on. The kids, you want to show up for them.
Yeah.
And so for me, I've been able...
you want to be a present mom.
You want to be present. And so for me, like if I know I have like 8 to 5 to get things done, I better work and I better focus. So it's made me a lot more scheduled and organized.
Like disciplined?
Yes. Yeah. Like I think in the past, like I could say, I'll start at 10 a.m. today or, because I'll work late if I want. I'll work till 10. No, like I've got to make sure that I get my work done and I have to stay on scheduled. Yeah. So it's actually allowed me to become more scheduled, but also appreciate just not working.
Yeah.
And enjoy life a little bit and show up for her. And so those are the 2 biggest things, but that's my short summary.
Okay. So another one is, what does your work-life balance look like in a busy season? If I'm going to be honest, this was our first really busy season, like very heavy busy season. And to be quite frank, like I did not handle it well. And looking back on it, the amount of time I would just have to have a good cry or call Sahara and be like, I am so overwhelmed. Yeah. I do not know how to manage my time. This is my to-do list. Like, what do I need to prioritize? And so I think, for me, it came back to honing in and doing those morning gratitudes, like waking up and being like, okay, I'm going to get my mind right for the day. I know I have a crap load to do.
Yeah.
But I'm going to just take it one day at a time because you can get so caught up with the work.
I think we both did last season, but we just talked about this. So while I always, no matter if I don't have a work-life balance, I always have the work-mom balance. Yeah. Is what I call it. Okay. Life, on the other hand, for both of us, we talked about this. I stopped working out last quarter. My eating habits went really bad.
Mine
and
too.
Mentally, it created my brain. I'm a big believer. Like when I work out, I have less brain fog. I feel better when I eat healthy.
We're still figuring out how to manage it. I think it's always going to be an evolving thing. I don't think we're ever going to quote unquote have it figured out.
No, it's going to be in seasons.
It's definitely going to be in seasons. Yeah. And I say that we are both of us are very good at still maintaining and setting aside time for things that we enjoy doing. And so that's the raw and real answer to that. Like,
we don't have a perfect, like, no, we get time for ourselves, family, work. We don't have that answer because both of us haven't done great at it. So.
Yeah, we're not gonna lie and tell you that, oh yeah, we work out, we do this. Like we're so good at all of it. No, absolutely not.
No.
If y'all have any questions, we're going to be doing this at the end of our personal episodes. So when I say personal episodes, just Sahara and I, when we have a guest, obviously we're going to be chatting with them and asking them all the questions and learning about their business and their why. And that's the whole point of this podcast too, is to share more women-owned businesses, women entrepreneurs. But if you guys have any questions for us, you can find us at Rise and Refine podcast or at Refine Marketing _. And unfortunately, we do have that underscore because somebody has our name.
If you want to give it to us, pretty please.
But if you love this episode, please leave us a review and let us know in the comments below on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or if you want to watch us, that's why we're videoing it too. You can watch us on YouTube. So thank you guys so much, and
we'll see you next Monday.
See you next Monday.